In this video, I want to show you guys my solution to the auto bed leveling errors that I was getting on this particular printer, so the Creality CR-10 Smart. And I was sent this printer from SainSmart, and I'm still in the process of doing a review on it, so I'm not going to pass judgment on the whole printer just yet. But I wanted to get this video out there because when I was doing my searching online for solutions, a lot of people seem to be having issues with this printer and the auto bed leveling, first layer adhesion, and that sort of thing. And usually when people are having problems with first layer adhesion, the sort of running joke in the 3D printer community is always, level your bed. And it seems to be the advice that people give to beginners and just anyone really for pretty much any problem when it comes to 3D printing. Level your bed. Now the problem with this printer is that you can't level your bed because there are no bed leveling screws. So the printer is one of the models that has the strain gauge in the print head, and it uses that to probe the print surface and compensate using the auto bed leveling mesh for any variations in the print surface. But what happens if the printer won't even finish the auto bed leveling? Well, in that particular case, then you're stuck with a printer where you pretty much have to disassemble it and start shimming the print surface or the print bed in order to get the print surface as level as possible in relation to the print head. So you're pretty much using shims to tram your printer. Now, that's not really reasonable for beginners and even for advanced users. You bought a 3D printer, certainly that's not what you want to do. And so, I started looking at the printer and the design of it, and I started wiggling the print bed and that sort of thing, and I noticed a few things. So let's take a look at what I found and how it might help you solve your problems with your first layer adhesion, and especially if you're getting that auto bed leveling error like I did. Hopefully this fixes it for you. So let's get into that. So as per the instructions that come with the machine, one of the first things you need to do is run the auto bed leveling feature of the printer. And you can see here, this is actually the very first time I'm running it. So this is a clip from the review that I'm producing. And there you go. You can see a 203 probing failed error. And what's also interesting here is that after you get this error, the firmware decides that it's not going to move the print head to a safe Z height. It's just going to go right back to the middle of the machine and carve a nice line into your glass plate. So why is this happening? Well, this might be why. Now, I didn't notice this at first because if you just move the print bed along the y-axis, it's pretty smooth. But since part of this auto bed leveling feature is to press the print head into the print surface to trigger the strain gauge, the firmware is probably thinking that either the print bed is out of tolerance, like it's too far that it can't compensate for it, or maybe it's not even triggering the strain gauge at all because there's just so much play in that print surface. Now, the most obvious thing to do to fix this would be to adjust the eccentric nuts on the print bed. And so there's 3 on this right side of the printer, and there's 1 on the left side of the printer. Now keep watching because there is one other thing that we need to do that is very important, but adjusting these nuts will definitely help, and that's a great start. A 10mm wrench will get the job done in adjusting those eccentric nuts, but the fact that there's 6 of them might cause you some headaches. Now, it's an interesting design choice on Creality's part because in theory, if those aluminum extrusions are straight, and they should be because aluminum extrusions typically come from the factory very straight, you really only need 3 points of contact, and you have 6 here. So in theory, this print bed is largely over constrained. And so what I might suggest doing is on the right hand side, adjusting the 2 outer wheels so that they are making contact with the extrusion, and on the left side, you only have 1 point of adjustment, which is the center wheel. So go ahead and try adjusting that and see if you can eliminate the wobble in your print bed. And if not, loosen the middle one on the left-hand side and use the 2 fixed points on the left side with the 2 adjustable points on the right side to eliminate your wobble. But we're not done there. So what I noticed was my print bed was still wobbling in the middle, but it was not wobbling at the 2 ends of those extrusions. And so what that told me was that something was pushing or pulling on my extrusions. And so if you push the print bed to the back, you can expose the 2 bolts that are holding down the center of your extrusions. By loosening those bolts, I was able to eliminate the wobble in the middle of my print travel for the y-axis. Similar to the 6 V-slot wheels over constraining the print bed, 3 screws per rail is actually over constraining that rail. Unless those screws are absolutely bang on, one of them is probably going to be pushing or pulling the extrusions in weird directions. And so looking at the bottom of the printer, you can see the cross member here where those bolts would bolt into. And if this cross member or the assembly or manufacturing tolerances are not absolutely spot on, those bolts are going to be pulling that extrusion perhaps inwards, outwards, and creating a bend in them. And this is going to create all sorts of problems when your print bed is wobbling around even just a little bit. It may be hard to see with your eye, but again, we're talking about fractions of a millimeter here of tolerances of whether or not your print is going to stick to that print bed, or whether or not the auto bed leveling feature is going to work or be able to compensate for the amount of play in those V-slot wheels running on that extrusion. With those bolts just loosened off and the extrusion now able to return back to its original shape from the manufacturer, which again should be very straight based on the extrusion manufacturing process, the wobble in the print bed was gone. This eliminated that wobble across the entire travel of my y-axis. So I'm going to try the auto bed leveling feature here again, and we're going to see if it succeeds. While that's going on, let's take a look at one more point of adjustment here that's quite important, and this is on your Z rods. So you have couplers at the top of your Z rods, and those couplers are attached to one another on the two sides with a belt, and this synchronizes your Z axis. And so those couplers can be adjusted. And so what I would suggest doing is taking your print head down pretty close to your print bed, maybe half a millimeter off the print bed, and using your hand, so you'd have to disable the motors, use your hand and trim the X-axis across the print bed and look for gaps. Now, you want the gap to be consistent left to right on your printer, and if it's not, you can make that adjustment on these Z rods. I actually had to do this on my printer, so what I did was I found the low side, which in my case was this right side here that I'm pointing at in slow motion. And what I did was I held the coupler in my left hand. I used my right hand with a Allen key to undo the set screws and loosen them off. Then, while holding the coupler steady so that the left side does not get adjusted, I made a quick little twist with my hand on the Z rod, and that brought up the right side of my X-axis so it's not dragging on the print bed, because this was the low side. And then I tightened those set screws back down, and now I had an even gap across the entire width of my print bed, and that was on the X-axis. Now, in theory, something like that is something that auto bed leveling should be able to compensate for, at least within reason, because this would be a static irregularity in the build of the printer, whereas having a loose y-axis with those V-rollers would be something that's rather dynamic. So as the printer is moving around, so would be the print bed, and that's not something that auto bed leveling can compensate for. But having a near perfect setup right from the start is definitely better than having your auto bed leveling feature try and compensate for large irregularities in your machine, even if they are static and not dynamic. Now we're nearing the end of this probing sequence, and keep in mind that I've sped this video up about 4 times. It is rather slow, but you can see that all of the sectors have completed successfully. After that, I added a bit of glue stick to my glass plate and decided to print something that would span the diagonal length of the printer to really see if I had all of the X and Y axis set up properly and if the auto bed leveling feature was working. And it turns out that it seems to be working. So this solved my problem with the first layer adhesion, and you can see this is, I think, in the second layer now, but it's going down quite nicely. And the first layer was pretty uniform across that entire width of the print, and the print turned out exceptionally well. I had no adhesion issues. The print did not warp. This was done in PLA, so I didn't really expect to see warping, but you know, I maintained adhesion throughout the entire print, and the print turned out quite nice. So it seems like my problem has been solved. One other thing I'd like to address before the end of this video is that there is some speculation that the auto bed leveling feature on this printer isn't even active at all. So although you probe the bed, when you actually go to print something, it's not doing anything. And this comes from Teaching Tech. So if you've watched a lot of 3D printing videos on YouTube, you've probably seen some of his videos, and they're really great. And he brought this up in his review of the printer because he inspected the G-code and noticed that there was nothing in there to load in the mesh file. And so while this might be true, it seems as though while I'm printing this first layer, I thought, okay, rather than looking at the G code, let's look at the Z-axis and see if we can watch the rods or the couplers move. And so that's what I did. I set up my camera, and while this layer is going down on this print, we can take a look at those couplers and we can see if they're moving during the first layer. And that would tell you that the Z-axis is being adjusted while the print is printing the first layer, and it's obviously compensating for something in that mesh. And so I overlaid a red line right beside the break in that coupler, and we can watch the break in the coupler relative to that static red line and see if we see any movement. And this perhaps isn't the best print for this because it's not spanning a large portion of the print bed, but I definitely see something, especially in my editing software where I can really zoom in. I do see a little bit of movement. This would indicate that there is something going on and the mesh should be loaded in and working. Now I will retest this with a better print later on, so look for my results in the video description or the comment section of this video. So I hope this information helps you guys out in solving your auto bed leveling errors with this particular machine or any of the other Creality machines with the extrusions on the bottom and the V-slot wheels that the print bed runs on, because I think this is going to be a common problem for these machines, especially the ones that use the strain gauge in the print head for probing that surface. Because if you don't have that adjustment in the print bed, well, then you're really, again, relying on the tolerances of the build and the mechanics of the printer to be pretty much spot on, or at least within the tolerances that the auto bed leveling mesh can compensate for. And so keep an eye out in the future for my future review on this particular printer, because again, I'm going to be doing a full review and setup and that sort of thing for this CR-10 Smart version. And hopefully it goes a little bit better because this is pretty much the first issue that I ran into when building this machine. And I just really wanted to get this video out there to help some people out who might be struggling with this printer. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another video.